The Way and the Virtue. Part 2. Written by Noja, Lao Tzu. Translated by Mu Muon. The Way and the Virtue. Verse 38, the virtue and etc. The high virtues do not look virtuous, therefore they are virtuous. The low virtues never lose being virtuous, therefore they have no virtue. The high virtues do not act for the sake of virtue, and have no need to. The low virtues do act for the sake of virtue, and have a need to. The high benevolence do not act for the sake of it, and have no need to. The high righteousness do something, righteous, and have a need to. When the high propriety is requested and yet there is no response, it will grab and pull the people's arm. Therefore, after the way is lost, the virtue arises. After the virtue is lost, the benevolence comes. After the benevolence is lost, the righteousness comes. After the righteousness is lost, and then the propriety comes. The propriety is the thin crust of the loyalty and the trust, and is the head of chaos. The prophets who can tell the future are the flowers of the Taoists, but are the beginnings of stupidity. Therefore the great person abides in its deep core, and does not abide on its thin shell. Dwell in the substance, and do not dwell in the glory. Thus he discards the latter and takes the former. The Way and the Virtue. Verse 39, the One and its base. Those that attain the One in the past. The sky attained it due to its clearness. The earth attained it due to its stillness. The spirits attained it due to the spiritual power. The valley attained it because it is filled with water. All creatures attained it due to their vitality, and the kings and lords attained it by making the world upright. Going further, in other words, the sky, without clarity, would probably crack apart. The earth, without stillness, would probably erupt. The spirits, without the spirituality, would probably scatter. The valley, without water full, would probably parch. All creatures, without the vitality, would probably extinct. The lords and kings, without the nobleness, would probably be toppled. Therefore the dignitaries use the commoners as their basis. The higher uses the lower as its foundation. Thus the kings call themselves as alone, little or no grain. Doesn't this illustrate that the lowly is their base? Does it? Therefore, a few high fame/honors is not an honor at all. Do not wish to be shiny like small jades, be dull like small pebbles. Note: no grain means no child or descendant. The Way and the Virtue. Verse 40, the origin. Being covered is how the way moves. Being frail is how the way is used. All things in the world were born from the substance, and the substance was born from the void. The Way and the Virtue. Verse 41, the way is hidden. Upon hearing the way, the superior scholars diligently practice it. The average scholars sometimes keep it and sometimes lose it. The mediocre scholars laugh loudly. If they do not laugh, it would be insufficient to be called the way. Thus the following have been suggested. The bright road appears dark, the advancing on the road appears retreating. The smooth road appears uneven, high virtue appears like an abyss. The pure white appears dirty, the generous virtue appears insufficient. The sound virtue appears unworthy, the simple truth appears deteriorated. The great square has no corners, the great vessel takes long to complete. The great sound is hard to hear, the great figure has no form. The way is hidden and nameless. Yet it is only the way that lends its power, and make everything completed. The Way and the Virtue. Verse 42, gaining and losing. One is produced from the way, and one produces two. Two produce three, and three produce all things. All things, with the yin on the back and bracing the yang. And by filling them with energy, bring them up harmoniously. What people dislike are alone, little, and no descendants. But the king and princes call themselves with these terms. So losing is sometimes gaining, and gaining is sometimes losing. As people teach, I also will give a teaching. The stout men cannot have a natural death. I will use this as the pinnacle of teaching. The way and the virtue. Verse 43, the benefits of no make. The softest thing in the world gallops to the hardest, which has neither openings nor cracks. I know hereby the benefit of no make. The teaching without words and the benefit of no make. There are few in the world which match them. The way and the virtue. Verse 44, know enough is enough and know to stop. Fame or your body, which is dearer? Your body or goods, which is more? Gaining or losing, which is more painful? Thus cherishing too much surely will lead to big wasting. Excessive accumulation surely will bring huge losses. Know when enough is enough, you will not be disgraced. Know when to stop, you will not be in danger. This way one can last long. The way and the virtue. Verse 45, the paradox. The great achievement looks flawed, yet its use never ends. The great fullness looks empty, yet its use is never exhausted. The big straight line seems bent. The greatest skill seems unskilled. The great eloquence seems murmuring. Quick movement overcomes cold, stillness overcomes heat. The clear and still makes the world upright. The way and the virtue. Verse 46, warning to warriors. When the way prevails in the world, the fast horses are retreated for their dung. When the way is discarded in the world, the war horses breed in the field. It is great a disaster in not knowing when it's enough. It is a great fault in wanting to get satisfaction. So know when enough is enough, one is always content. The way and the virtue. Verse 47, to know without seeing. Without going out the door, one knows all in the world. Without peering out the window, one sees the way of heaven. The further away one goes out, the less one knows. Thus the sages know without going out, become famous without revealing himself, and achieve without the make. The way and the virtue. Verse 48, no undertaking. Practice learning, one gains daily. Practice the way, one loses daily. Lose and lose until they reach nothing to do. When one practices no make, there is nothing that cannot be done. The world is always obtained by no undertaking. When one reaches the point of undertaking, he is not qualified to take the world. The way and the virtue. Verse 49, the sages and children. The sages have no fixed mind. They take the mind of the people as theirs. To those who are good, I am good. To those who are not good, I am still good to them. This is how to gain goodness. To those who trust me, I trust them. To those who do not trust me, I still trust them. This is how to gain trust. The sages are heavily breathing, with all their heart, for the world. When people are watching with all their eyes and ears, they just smile like children. The way and the virtue. Verse 50, death and life. When men come out of the land of life into the land of death, 3 out of 10 survive, 3 out of 10 die. And also 3 out of 10 move from the land of life into the land of death. Why? It is because they wish to live an affluent life. As I hear, the saying goes. For those who are good at taking care of themselves, they never encounter rhinoceros or tigers while traveling on land. They are not harmed by weapons in the army. Rhinos have nowhere to thrust their horns. Tigers have nowhere to clasp their claws. Weapons have nowhere to lodge their blades. Why? It is because they are not in the land of death. The way and the virtue. Verse 51, the deep virtue. The way gives birth, the virtue raises, the shape is formed, and the manhood is completed. This is why there are none which do not respect the way, nor endear the virtue. The respect for the way and the endearment of virtue are not by order, but by the people themselves. Thus the way produces, the virtue raises, grows, educates, straightens, make tenacious, cares and protects them. It makes birth, but does not possess. It makes, but does not rely on. It brings up, but does not dominate. This is called deep virtue. The way and virtue. Verse 52, following the norm. The world had a beginning. It became the mother of the world. If you know the mother, then you can know her children. Likewise, if you, by knowing the son, know the mother again and keep her, you won't be in danger even if you are perished. Block the holes and close the doors. You will live throughout your life without toiling. Open the holes and go through all the affairs. Throughout your life, the toiling will not stop. Seeing the small is called brightness. Keeping the softness is called strength. Utilize the light and return to the brightness again. You will not leave any disasters on yourself. These are called following the norm. The way and the virtue. Verse 53, thief's luxury. When I walk the broad road, let me know, without mistake, that I must be afraid of these as a flag. While the broad road is very plain, yet people love the shortcuts. While the court is very much deprived, the fields are very barren. And the warehouse is empty. Yet they wear colorful silks, carry a sharp sword at their girdle. They are tired of drinks and foods, and have a surplus of goods and wealth. This is called thief's luxury. This isn't the way, is it? The way and the virtue. Verse 54, the cultivation. What is well erected does not to be pulled out. What is well embraced does not be taken away. It will make the descendants never skip the memorial rituals. When one cultivate oneself, that virtue leads one to truthfulness. When one cultivate the family, that virtue leads them to abundance. When one cultivate the town, that virtue leads it last long. When one cultivate the country, that virtue leads her to prosperity. When one cultivate the world, that virtue leads it to wider world. Therefore, by watching how truthful a person is, one can see how much he is cultivated. By watching how abundant the family is, one can see how much it is cultivated. By watching how long the town lasts, one can see how much it is cultivated. By watching how prosperous the country is, one can see how much it is cultivated. By watching how broad the world is, one can see how much it is cultivated. How do I know that the world is so? With this. The way and the virtue. Verse 55, the infant. One, who is rich in virtue, is compared to a newborn infant. The bees, scorpions, vipers, and snakes do not sting it. Wild beasts do not claw it. Birds of prey do not snatch it. Its bones are frail and tendons are soft, but its grasp is firm. It does not know of union of male and female, but its body has everything. A pinnacle of perfection. It cries all day, yet the voice does not become hoarse. A pinnacle of consistency. Knowing consistency is called the routine/norm. Knowing the routine is called the enlightenment. Promoting a good living is called the auspicious. For the mind to reign on the power is called the strong. Once something flourish, then they are bound to get old. This is not the way, so to say. What is not the way, ends early. The way and the virtue. Verse 56, profound collections of the way. He who knows does not talk, he who talks does not know. Blocking holes and closing the doors. Cutting the awns and disentangling the ribbon of horse's tail. Softening the flame of fire and gathering the dirt. These are called profound collections of the way. And so, you cannot get it even though you are intimate to or distant. You cannot get it even though you benefit or harm. You cannot get it even though you are a noble or a debased person. That is why the way is precious in the world. The way and the virtue. Verse 57, no ministers. By righteousness, a country is governed. By surprise, an army is deployed. By not using ministers, the world is obtained. How do I know that this is so? With the following. Too many restrictions in the world, people become poor. Too many sharp weapons, the country becomes more chaotic. Too many cunning tricks, strange things flourish. Too many laws posted, there are more robbers and thieves. Therefore the sage says, when I do no make, the people teach and behave themselves. When I enjoy rest, the people right themselves. When I do not meddle in the details, the people enrich themselves. When I have no desires, the people become simple by themselves like timber. The way and the virtue. Verse 58, misfortune and blessing. When governing is dreary, people become simple and honest. When governing is precise, people become distorted. Misfortune is where blessing depends on. Blessing is where misfortune lies prostrate. Who would knows their ultimate end? There is no right answer. The normal reverts back to the strange. The good reverts back to the wicked. The ignorance of people has lasted long already. Therefore the sages are square without chiseling, are frugal without hurting others, are upright without being unbridled, are bright without dazzling. The way and the virtue. Verse 59, frugality. In governing people and serving the world, there is nothing like frugality. People should be frugal as a rule, it is called dressing up early. Dressing up early means, so to speak, accumulating virtues. When virtues are accumulated, there is nothing that one cannot overcome. When there is nothing that one cannot overcome, one cannot fathom its limits. When the limits are unfathomable, there can be a nation. And with the mother of nation present, it can be everlasting. This is called deepening and strengthening roots. It is the way of longevity and foreseeing afar. The way and virtue. Verse 60, governing a country. Governing a large country is similar to boiling a small fish. When one face the world in accordance with this way, the ghosts have no supernatural power. Not only the ghosts have no supernatural power, the gods also do not harm people. Not only the gods do not harm people, the sages also do not harm people. They both do no harm people. Therefore the virtues return in shoulder to shoulder. The way and the virtue. Verse 61, placing oneself low. A large country is like the downstream of the river. It is the meeting point, and it is the female of the world. The female always wins over the male by being serene, and always places herself low by being serene. Thus, by placing herself below the small country, the large country takes the small country. By placing herself below the large country, the small country wins, marries to, the large country. Thus, by lowering herself, one can take, or being lower, yet one can win. The large country only wishes to nourish people together, and the small country only wishes to join the large, and become a vassal. So to obtain what each country wishes, the larger should place herself low. The way and the virtue. Verse 62, the precious way. The way is the deepest inner core of everything. It is a treasure for good men, and bad man also keeps it. Fine words, of compliments, can be purchased in the market, and admirable deeds can be accomplished by hiring people. How could it ever happen that bad people discard the way? Crowning an emperor, appointing 3 ministers, even having a 4-horse chariot with beaded jades, are not as good as sitting and advancing this way. That is why the way is prized from ancient times, isn't it? Do not say, if you ask, you can get your crime forgiven. This is why the way is precious in the world. The way and the virtue. Verse 63, start from small. Do no make, work on no works, taste the tasteless. The large starts from the small, many arises from a few. Respond to resentments with virtue. Start difficult task while it is easy, large project, when it is little. The difficult tasks in the world surely start from easy one, large, from small. This is why the sage, though never undertaking great tasks, is nonetheless able to accomplish great things. Easy promises surely has little trust, and many easy things leads to many difficulties. So the sages regard every project as difficult. Hence they never have difficulties. The way and the virtue. Verse 64, dare not. What is at rest is easy to grasp, what shows no symptoms yet is easy to plan. What is tender is easy to melt away, what is tiny is easy to be dispersed. Deal with the matter before it starts, and manage it before it becomes chaotic. An armful tree grows from the tiny sprout. A 9-story building starts from a pile of dirt. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath one's feet. Those who contrive will fail, those who grasp will lose. Therefore, sages do not contrive and thus do not fail, do not grasp, do not lose. People in a task always fail at the verge of success. Be cautious to the end as the beginning, there will be no accident. Therefore, sages long for no desire, and do not value goods that are hard to acquire. Learn what has not been taught, and return the mistakes people made. Only assist all things to return to their natural state, and dare not contrive. The way and the virtue. Verse 65, the great mouth of river. In old days those who were good at the way did not make people clever, rather kept them ignorant. People are difficult to govern, because they are too much wise. Therefore, using wisdom to govern the state is an enemy to the state. Not using wisdom to govern the state is a blessing to the state. Know that these two are both standards. Knowing these standards is called the profound virtue. The profound virtue is deep and far-reaching. It returns back with all things together. Then, it reaches the mouth of great river. The way and the virtue. Verse 66, staying low. That the river and ocean can become the king of 100 valleys is because they are good at staying low. Therefore they can become the king of 100 valleys. This is why if one want to be above people, he must speak low of himself. And if one want to be in front of people, he must place himself behind. This is why the people do not feel his weight, even if the sage places himself above them. And the people do not harm him even if he places himself in front of them. This is why the world are glad to push him, yet do not loathe. Due to his no contention, no one in the world can contend with him. The way and the virtue. Verse 67, 3 treasures. I have 3 treasures, which I hold onto and protect. The first is called love. Everyone in the world says my way is great. Yet it appears that it is not similar to previous one. It is the very greatness that it appears not similar to previous one. If it were similar, it would have been very small long before. I have 3 treasures, which I hold onto and protect. The first is called love. The second is called frugality. The third is called not daring to be ahead in the world. With love I can be more courageous. With frugality I am able to reach more widely. With not daring to be ahead, I am able to become the chief of dish making. Now with courage only, discarding love. With reaching widely only, discarding frugality. With standing ahead only, discarding standing behind. It will be death. With love. If one fights with love, one will win. If one defends with love, one will be firm. When heaven helps, it protects with love. The way and the virtue. Verse 68, pairing with the pinnacle of ancient heaven. The good soldiers are not valiant. The good warriors do not get angry. The good winners do not fight with the enemy. Those who are good in using people lower themselves. This is called the virtue of non-contention. This is called the power of using people, and this is called pairing with the pinnacle of ancient heaven. The way and the virtue. Verse 69, military maneuvers. In maneuvering the army, it is said, I dare not be the host, but rather be the guest. I dare not advance an inch, but rather withdraw a foot. This is called advancing without advance, pushing without arms, marching without enemy, and defending without soldiers. There is no greater disaster than to underestimate the enemy. Underestimating the enemy is almost close to losing my treasures. So the battle between the opposing armies escalates. The one who worries will prevail. The way and the virtue. Verse 70, my words are easy. My words are very easy to understand, very easy to practice. Yet there is none who can understand, nor who can practice it in the world. The speech has its basis, and the service has its master. Since people do not know, is this because I do not know? Those who understand me are few, and those who follow me are precious. It's because the sages hide jades in sackcloth. The way and the virtue. Verse 71, recognize the truth. To know that you do not know is best. To claim, to know what you don't know is an illness. One should recognize the illness as illness. Then one has no illness. The sages are without illness. It's because they recognize the illness when they are ill. That is why they are without illness. The way and the virtue. Verse 72, no loathe. When people do not fear the mother-in-law, they will face more fearful mother-in-law. Do not neglect where they live, and do not loathe the way they live. One must simply refrain from loathing, this is what it means not to hate. That is why the sages, even they know it, but do not reveal it. They cherish themselves, but do not make themselves noble. They discard that and take this. The way and the virtue. Verse 73, the way of heaven. The powerful men who are daring will die. The powerful men who are not daring will be alive. Of these two, one is beneficial, the other, harmful. The heaven hates this, who knows the reason why? So the sages still find this difficult. The way of heaven is good at winning without contending. Is good at responding without speaking. Appears on its own without a call. Is good at scheming even with its belt loosened. The heaven's net is vast and its mesh is coarse. Yet nothing slips through. The way and the virtue. Verse 74, the executioner. If people do not fear death, how can they be threatened with death? Even if we make people always fear death, still there are those who act abnormally. We capture and kill them, but who would dare kill them? Usually there exists an official executioner who kills. If we kill in place of the official executioner, it is called cutting wood in place of a great carpenter. If we cut the wood in place of a great carpenter, there would be left few that do not hurt their own hands. The way and the virtue. Verse 75, the strive for well-being. The starvation of people is due to high food tax by higher people. This is why they starve. The difficulty in governing people is due to the existence of the makes by higher people. This is why people are difficult to govern. The disregard of death by people is due to the pursuit of affluent life by higher people. This is why they disregard the death. Those who do not strive for living well are wiser than those who have a noble life. The way and the virtue. Verse 76, the dead and the living. While alive, the body is soft and pliant. When dead, it is hard and rigid. All things, grasses, and trees, while they are alive, are soft and fragile. When dead, they are dry and wither. Thus what is hard and stiff are the followers of death. What is soft and pliant are the followers of living. Therefore, when the army is strong, the army will not win. And when a tree is strong, it will fall into the same. The big and strong should take lower position. The soft and pliant should take upper position. The way and the virtue. Verse 77, the way of heaven and the way of man. The way of heaven is like attaching the string on a bow. The high end is lowered, and the low end is raised. If the length is excess, it is reduced, and if short, it is added. The way of heaven cuts if excessive, and adds the if short. The way of people is not so. It takes away from the not enough, only to offer to the enough. Who can offer their excess to the world? Only those with the way. Therefore sages do the work, yet he does not rely on it. He accomplishes success, yet he does not dwell on it. This is because they do not want their wisdom revealed. The way and the virtue. Verse 78, the weak overcomes the hard. There is nothing in the world more weak and supple than water. But, when attacking the firm and strong, nothing can beat the water. There is nothing which it can be substituted. The supple overcomes the strong, the weak, the hard. There are none who do not know it, but none can carry it out. Thus the sages say. One who bears the shames of the country, is called the master of the altar. And one who bears the omens of nation, is to be the king of the kingdom. True statements seem to be unreasonable. The way and the virtue. Verse 79, the debenture. After settling a great animosity, there still is remaining resentments. How could this be good? Therefore, the sages hold the left part of the debenture. But do not demand payment from the debtor. A man with virtue keeps the debenture. A man without virtue seizes or taxes. The way of heaven has no favorites, it always sides with good people. The way and the virtue. Verse 80, the ideal country. A small country with small population. They have hundreds of weapons, but don't let the weapons used. They take death serious, but do not let them go out far. Although they have ships and chariots, they don't ride them. Although they have armors and weapons, they don't display them. Let the people return to the period of tying knots, and use them. Sweet are their food, and beautiful are their clothes. Comfortable are their home, and joyful are their customs. People can see the neighboring countries each other. People can hear the roosters and dogs from each other. People die from old age, and do not go back and forth from each other. The way and the virtue. Verse 81, the last words. Trustworthy words are not beautiful, beautiful words are not trustworthy. Good people do not speak well, good speakers are not good people. The learned people are not broadly knowledgeable. The broadly knowledgeable are not learned. Sages do not accumulate. They spend for people, yet they possess more. They share with people, yet they have many more. The way of heaven benefits people, but does not harm. The way of sages does the work, but does not contend.
Thank you for reading. I began to read this book, called The Way and the Virtue, or Tao De Jing, carefully in Korean, in Chinese, and in English after I retired. Numerous people tackled to translate and interpret the book for thousands of years. I read many of them, yet I was not convinced about what the way is as they explained. After consulting with old dictionaries, I realized that new interpretation of keywords in the book is possible and found that the true way is not what the people think it is. I decided to reveal what I have found. English not being my native tongue, I can assume my writings is not perfectly and correctly translated. Here I welcome your comments, suggestions, or questions which will improve the understanding of the way. In July 2026. Mumoan.